Here we are on Cadesport. Dave Morrison with you in New York City. Well, I'm not actually. I'm in London, not even in the central city part of London. 2 minutes, 50-something seconds before we kick off in this tight course around New York City. Fingers crossed it all goes well. There might be one little technical glitch which holds us up for a couple of minutes. If that happens, don't go away because we will resolve it very, very quickly. So, that aside, caveats and health warnings aside, let's have a look at the New York City course. Now, you can see the map on the bottom right-hand corner, and you can see it's got these long straights. You can go really, really fast, but it's got these tight bends. Just look at those. Now, this is Cadesport, the home of crashing, and we love it too. So, there's a sweeping bend there as the camera flicks around. See these skylines, brilliant graphics as ever from Cadesport, as you'd expect. Now, these tight corners are going to involve the riders just braking probably about now, then coasting around these corners without going into the red on their speedometer, then powering up to make the most of the straights. Now, the crashes tend to dictate the losers. They might not necessarily dictate the winner, but the more you crash, the less chance you've got of winning. So, assuming that you're adept enough to stay up, it will then come down to who's the most powerful on these long straights. Absolutely fascinating course. Love this one. The other one in New York City, Water Village, is recommended by me. If you're new to Cadesport, go on in your own time. Just practice going around the corners on Water Village, because that is the course of courses for me to learn how to corner on Cadesport. Very, very tight and all the rest of it. The other alternative, if you really want to learn cornering, is to use the indoor kart courses, which I see the World Tour CVR series on Cadesport likes to indulge people in those, and it's quite interesting to see some of the strong riders come a cropper on the tight corners. So Cadesport really is the more skillful of all the platforms out there at the moment. Not all the courses require skill, of course. There's a huge variety. Check them all out. They call them maps. I refer to them as courses. It's probably a difference between English and American English, perhaps. We shall see. But maps, courses, whatever you call them, Cadesport has a vast array of differing courses, and they're all good fun as well. Graphics are great. What more could you want? So, 28 seconds to go. Very shortly, the riders will be transported to the start line, and 22 seconds. They're probably on it, to be honest. And who have we got in? No, they're still warming up. 16 seconds. I think they'll get thrown over to the start line any second now. This looks like the Thompsons, and nice lineup of riders on there, looking great. Some of the West London kits, the blue and white ones, the white shirts with the stripes down, largely Cadesport teams. The yellows, CCC, Cool Calm and Collected, and it's Lisa Snell right off the front, very, very quickly. I think the first race we ever did was on this course, and I think she did pretty well on that one. Vanessa's not having any of that, straight on her wheel. And Homer Thompson, up there from Lafayette, is close on the heels. Now, who we got? Zany Ryder is pushing up to the front. Lisa sitting on the wheel now. So the first bend, this is going to be the first test. Looks like we've got some... So the first corner, everybody safely round that one. Reasonably sweeping, so not the hardest test. This one looks a little bit tighter. Let's see what happens. Lisa sitting on the wheel there. Everybody getting around safely, but they're straight into another one. And I see Vanessa, who probably knows this course rather well, taking advantage of everybody else being a bit cautious on the bend and taking up the lead now from Timothy from Belgium, just ahead of Lisa and Zany Ryder. Quite a peloton here as they go around another one of the more sweeping bends. Everybody staying up, so you can see how good people are getting. But Vanessa and Timothy beginning to pull away. There's a little bit of a gap. Lisa chasing on. She's on Vanessa's wheel and goes by, and pulling up behind Timothy to sit on the wheel. Actually going by. I don't know if I don't know what she's been eating, but absolutely flying by there is Lisa in the lead. She's the pair of them, if they work together. Now there's a corner coming up, I suspect, because Timothy's moved over. Lisa tucking in behind. Timothy taking the lead now. He's caused a little bit of a gap, but there's 3 seconds back to the rider behind. Both staying up very, very well on this. And look at the red on the list of riders there. Everybody who got a red there has just crashed and will lose time. And this is great news for the leaders, as I see that Vanessa and Homer Thompson now 50. Sorry, no, they're not far behind Lisa and Timothy, I think. So the front riders now, and if you go back to Kay Thompson in 5th place, have now got 6 or 7 seconds on the others, and we're starting to see a group pulling away, making use of these bends. 1.7 kilometres out of 9 by at the moment. Lisa just taking a turn on the front in front of Timothy. They've got 3 seconds on Homer. You can see the crowd, the peloton, the group just behind these two. Timothy's going to put a bit of effort in just to get the benefit of the draft on Lisa, who's doing very, very well on these straights. The momentum taking Timothy past, though, and creating another gap. So it's Lisa's turn to do the catch-up. My advice would be not to burn yourself out too much on catching up just to get the wheel, because I go for a more gradual approach. And the other thing is, don't over accelerate on the catch and then find yourself going into a corner too fast. And these two are riding exceptionally well. No crashes yet, and Timothy pulling away a little bit. I think Lisa would be well. Oh, and there's 2 crashes there. Shaq and I think that might have been Frank Garcia even. Timothy pulling away now. And the gap between Lisa and Vanessa and Homer is still steady at 4 seconds, but there's 2 seconds between Timothy and Lisa, and Vanessa just making up a second on Lisa. What's Lisa going to do? She's chasing down, only a second behind Timothy now. And we get this aerial view as they come up to the next bend. And you can see these are reasonably tight. I mean, in race conditions, and I think Lisa's just gone down to 3rd place. It's Vanessa who's taken 2nd spot with Homer just behind on Lisa's wheel. The thing is, don't panic. The thing is to stay up. And I think Lisa's gone down and Homer's gone down as well. This sets the front 2 clear. This is the problem. Lisa, no doubt, seeing that she was just losing a bit of ground, put in a bit too fast. And the problem is you lose even more ground. And you'll see now that Lisa's back with the chasing pack effectively. She's got 3 seconds on Kay. But I don't know that she's going to make up the gap on the others. Although that said, it's only 5 seconds to Vanessa, so she's not out of this yet. She is absolutely flying down this straight. Got it down at 3 seconds. She could pull back on, but the danger is that she's going too fast into the next bend. Timothy Termont then, the Belgian, round the corner safely. No crashes there. Lisa gets around this one safely, but 4 seconds off Vanessa at the moment, so it's still all to play for as we look at Brett Smith in what's he in 6th place. He's just caught up with Homer and Kay Thompson and sits on their wheels. Will he steam past them on the next straight? We'll have to see. 3.6 kilometers, we're about halfway through. Well, we're not quite halfway through. We've done 3.6. We're about we're over a third of the way through, I should say. 7 kilometres left to ride out of this 10.7k race as Timothy Termont now just I suppose eking out that lead, and Lisa's 4 seconds behind. She's not quite on their tails. Brett 6 seconds behind, so whether or not Lisa and Brett, teammates from the West London club, will actually get together, we'll have to see. So we've got 11 riders competing for this, and a couple of bots at the end. Shaq and Frank Garcia at the back, just behind Zany Ryder. David Tobin just in front of them. Rene Valadez in 7th place behind Kay Thompson and Homer Thompson. Thompson's often riding together as a team. We see 2 West London riders together there, Lisa and Brett, and they both crashed on that corner. And that plays into the hands of the Thompsons now, who've moved up in front of Brett and Lisa and Rene Valadez too. So there's some stars and stripes in that top 5 now, but it's Belgium in the lead with Timothy Termont. And here we have the crash. Both Brett and Lisa taking a tumble on that corner. Bad news, but they're probably, if they can get back into the group with Homer, they're in with a chance, I think. But I think the gap's probably a little bit too big for Brett, but Lisa's pulled herself back up into 3rd place. She is on fire today. She's ahead of Homer by 2 seconds, 4 seconds back from Vanessa. Again, if just staying up is the key here. The Thompsons pursued by Brett Smith for West London, and that trio need to pull back if they're going to make an impact. As we come up to nearly halfway in the race, David Tobin there, just going past Zany Ryder, does a little side flick, head nod as he goes by. That's automated. It doesn't. It's not a choice. David Tobin, and really one of my big influences in e-cycling. He was the man who persuaded me to take it up many years ago. And a crash for Zany Ryder sets David Tobin clear on that corner, sliding into the barriers, just taking that too fast. And I suspect braking. One of the things is if you brake on these corners, it will probably lock the wheels and slide you. Now we're looking at Homer Thompson being pursued by David Tobin. He's a few seconds behind Kay by the looks of things. So the Thompsons split. Kay driving ahead 4 seconds with David just on the wheel. Kay just behind Brett Smith. So we have a West London rider and a CCC rider, followed by a West London rider and a CCC rider. Obviously, everybody getting the same teams. Brett Smith's just pulling away from Kay a little bit there. And no, this is the thing. You don't want to charge too much. If you pursue too much, you'll get over exuberant on those corners and of course trouble. David Tobin just pulling towards the inside a little bit. He's on the inside. He can get past Homer here, and it does so just. I think the two of them will sit together for a little while, though. We go back to the front. It's Timothy Turmont. It's Vanessa Murren just behind him. And it's 5 seconds back to René Valadez with Lisa Snell on his tail and Brett Smith and Kay Thompson chasing. So there's gaps that can be made up here. What's really impressive with these front riders is the way they're staying up here. They're getting the cornering right, and you can see the maturing of the riders on Cadesport. The early races were crash after crash after crash. By the way, mine still are. I can't stay up for very long. Lisa now just pursuing René. Needs to break about now. Gets it right. Going round. Stays up. On René's wheel now. Will she try and get past him on the straight? She's obviously put in some power. Just look at the avatar moving out of the saddle slightly. But René holding his own. In fact, maybe creating a little bit more of a gap. But going back to these riders, the maturing of the riders, if you're not practicing on Cade, you are going to be a part of the past, I think, because this is the future of e-racing. And what we have here is witness to the people who didn't stay up for very long, now staying up most of the course, on a course with plenty of tight bends. So the crashing is diminishing in these races as the riders work out how to do it. The skill factor is setting in. So if you're new, you're going to have to do a few races before you can challenge these guys. So get in there, join in Cade racing, and get your skill set up. Now, it's all very well me saying this, but my skill on these bends is pretty poor. It's in the races. Now, I seem to manage them when I'm not racing, but the moment I'm racing, my eye goes off the ball. I'm looking at the rider in front, start chasing, and misjudge a corner because I'm not focused enough. But there we are. It's all the fun of Cadesport racing. Look at this. Absolutely thrilling stuff. Everybody's staying up on the bends. I'm not sure whether I want them to. I think it's more entertaining when they crash. Nevertheless, we have to salute the skill factor. Timothy Turmont now is free at the front. He has 10 seconds on René, who is with Vanessa. So a couple of the Cadesport riders with Brett and Lisa. So there's a foursome just behind Timothy, but he's well clear now at 10 seconds as we watch the chasing pack here with Brett out the front. Brett, a reasonably strong rider, hasn't always done so well on the Cade races, and I think that's due to crashing. So if he can stay up, he might be the favourite out of this little quartet. Nevertheless, he hasn't created a gap there. We see Vanessa hot on his heels. Everybody jostling for position along the track now, using the steering to full effect, trying to get round each other perhaps. And it is René that goes off the front. It's Lisa on his wheel, putting in a bit of a charge now. Got those tri-bar handlebars. And creating a little bit of a gap. 1 second back to Lisa. Needs to brake here. You can see no pedalling. Free wheels round the corner there. Stays up. And, somebody's gone. I think that was Brett. Yes, you can see on the right there the list of names. Brett in red as he goes over. Only 2.1k to go. So Timothy Turmont looking very, very good. Although 2 seconds have been shaved off his lead. It's only 8 seconds now in 2 kilometres. Can you make up 8 seconds? It's possible. Timothy's shown no sign of falling off the bike, and I don't think he's going to now. So we're going to have to assume that Timothy Timon is going to be the leader, but this is where the excitement's going to be in this chasing pack. Down to 3 now. Rene has pulled away a little bit, got 2 seconds on Vanessa and David and Lisa. The two ladies now need to work together to haul him back. Lisa has lost a little bit of ground on Rene there, but she's ahead of Vanessa. So can Lisa make up that gap? Looks like Lisa's going to. 1.5 kilometres to go. It's important to make sure you get around these bends. Lisa needs to stop chasing now. You can see she stops pedalling. Very, very wise. Probably braking just to get this corner right. It doesn't matter if you lose a split second here, if you can make it up on the straight. A reasonably short straight, though. Not a lot of opportunities to make up ground. Vanessa losing ground on these two now, as we see Brett Smith and David Tobin now working in tandem in the West London kits there, chasing Vanessa. What can these two do? Will the two teammates fight it out? We'll have to see. Another bit of straight. Looks like they're working together at the moment, or at least Brett's putting in all the power at the front. Timothy Timon now is rolling up towards the finishing line and is going to be our winner today. So congratulations to him. A win for Belgium, no less. And we shall see what happens in the pursuing bunch. But at the moment, it's Lisa and Rene who are battling for the other 2 podium positions. And as long as they stay up, they should get them. But in which order? We've got to find out. Rene now pushing off the front. Lisa sitting on the wheel. Rene's pulling out a little bit of a gap. Lisa's got to respond. Timothy Termont still focusing on the finish. Lisa's up with Rene, but they got another corner coming. Will they both stay up? I was worried for a minute there. Lisa looked like she was sliding. Rene really pushing now as they go into the long straight here, and he's pulled out a second on Lisa. What will happen next? Timothy Timon now coming up this long straight there. The Belgium racing for the win. Can't be far to go. 0.2 kilometres. It's just around the bend on the left. And Lisa's crashed. And I think that's the end of that. Timothy Timon now. Sorry, this is not quite finished, has he? He's got 0.1. It's around this bend, I think. The finishing line, you should just see it there. Timothy Timon is our winner. Well done, Timothy. A win for Belgium. He sits up in the saddle. But Rene now looks like he's home and dry after Lisa's crash. Rene taking second place, and all down to that crash that Lisa had near the end. But podium place for her nevertheless. Vanessa taking 4th. And looks like David Tobin just crashed there just before the finishing line by the looks of it. Brett beating him to the finish by the looks of things. And so therefore, West London getting 3rd, 5th and 6th. We're with Keith Thompson now, leading Homer by 6 seconds. So, who'll have the family honours in Lafayette tonight as Kay takes a splendid 6th place ahead of Homer now, just staying on that last bend and taking 7th. Zany Ryder to come, Shaq and Frank Garcia still to come in to make up the finishing places. So we will have 11 finishers tonight, and the cameras at the back. Zany Ryder now coming in, and we start having a look at the finishing positions so far. Timothy Timon, a fantastic winner. Rene Valadez taking 2nd place. Lisa Snell 3rd. Vanessa Moran 4th place. Brett Smith 5th. David Tobin 6th. Kay Thompson taking the Thompson family honours. Is 7th place, just ahead of Homer. Zany Ryder 9th. Shaq 10th. And I'm assuming Frank will roll across the line at some point soon to make up the 11th place. Fantastic racing. Well done, Timothy Timon. That was a masterclass in cornering and power combined on one of these courses. Rene Valadez just stealing it from Lisa almost. Lisa's own goal, if you like, of the crash just near the end, giving Rene the honours. Although Rene might argue that he was looking strong towards the finish anyway. Vanessa, as ever, with all that finesse and knowing the courses, a very, very strong 4th position. Brett and David with a couple of crashes, costing them higher places. Kay and Homer Thompson Not really their night tonight. I mean, they're both accomplished riders and they stay up quite well. Didn't quite fall for them tonight, but I think they'll be pleased with the performance nevertheless. Zany Ryder, well done. The Australian there coming in ninth. No doubt Zany will be practicing on some corners. As I say, I recommend the Cade kart tracks or the Water Village track if you really want to practice and get used to corners. And Shaq there taking 10th place for Cadesport and the USA. Thanks very much for being with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and I've yet to choose the course, but it's going to be a whole load of fun. Mark my words. It always is on Cadesport. See you soon.